I'm going to show you something that you probably don't know, and it's going to help you if you're using a leveling system. And that came right out. Okay, so back on the job next day. I did all of this yesterday, cut around the niches. I uploaded that video so you can take a look at that if you want. A lot of tips on how to get a great looking job. But anyway, today I'm going to show you something that you probably don't know, and it's going to help you if you're using a leveling system, if you have problems with those clips breaking out incorrectly. So these grout lines are 1/8 of an inch all the way around. They're 1/8 of an inch. So let me get, so this is my spacer, 1/8 inch spacer, and that goes in there. But these clips, should I get one out? I'm not, see, 1/8 of an inch. See how these are actually 1/16 of an inch clips? How are they here? 2 millimeter, and these are 1/8 inch spacers. So you use a smaller clip than your grout line. Typically, I actually like to use 1 millimeter, a 1/32 clip, in conjunction with an 1/8 inch grout line, or you can even use a 16 inch if you got a 32nd inch clip. But that way your clip isn't, there's room on either side, and it's not pinched between the tiles, and it'll break out easy every time. So this will just break right out without any problem, just like that. Break out clean every time. Okay, so I took out all these clips. They all came out nice and clean except for one, because there was a lot of things that squeezed through that I couldn't see between under under the protection plate. So how do you get this out? Now this is very important that you do everything. You knock out your clips the next day, but here's how you get that out very easily. So now, because it's the next day, the thin set is still very soft, so you're going to clean out the thin set around the clip. Make sure you get it nice. Get all the thin set out. Free up the clip. And not scratching your tile. Then you're just going to get the back of your mount. Just give it a tap and it will come out, and then you can go the other way if you have to. And that came right out. Okay, so got the 2 rows in, got the bull nose in on this bottom side here. Got the top row in up there, and again, very time consuming. Those all had to be cut, and there's one full tile right there. Everything else has to be cut. Okay, so I decided to get the tile under the niche there. I mean, under the, finish this seat here. I don't have to worry about it. So this is a piece of tile right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a piece of tile. And then I have this one for the front. This guy that's mitered both sides, and that's gonna go like that. So I cement that on, and that's going to be finished. Okay, so that's on. This corner bench sheet is done. Just the foam board, so this won't sag. Otherwise than that, that's done. It's a little chip here. I think I'm gonna turn that upside down. Okay, so the chip is gone. I just turned it upside down, and now the chip is up here. And you're never gonna see it up there because it's gonna be caulked. So that is that. Okay, so I set this and this. And the reason I do that is so when I put the tile, you know, the rest of the tile on, plus the shelf, this will be solid and the weight won't push it down, because the thin set, if the thin set is still fresh, you could push it, could push it down. And I have this, both of these are level that way, and they're tilted that way. Same with this one here. So water will run into the shower and not into the back. So I think I'm going to call it quits for today. I didn't really get much done, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, did this cutting and fitting. So I usually start about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I get on the job, and then I usually quit about 2 o'clock. Might say that's early. It is early, but I can do that, and that's what I do. And then I go home, and then I do a bunch of other stuff that I have to do for YouTube and for you know, related to my tile business, etc., etc. So my installations might end at 2 o'clock, but my day does not. Okay, so another little piece of information to make sure that your installation is better than the average installation is to make sure you stone or you sand or you smooth all your cuts that are going to be seen. Let me explain. So all these, so this is obviously a factory edge, and this is a cut edge, but it's actually pretty nice because I stoned that edge. I sanded that edge to make sure that it's not sharp at all. I run my finger along and it doesn't get cut. These edges here, those aren't stone because there's going to be a top piece of tile in front of it. You're not going to see it. So this is a cut tile, whether it be with a wet saw or with a snap cutter. This one here was actually done with the snap cutter, and see how this edge is really ragged and very sharp. You can cut yourself on that. So before, if this was going to be an edge that was going to be seen, then you would stone it. This is what you call a rubbing stone, or you can get the soft diamond pads, different grits. I actually had one of those and I really like it, but I lost it, so I got to order some more. But in the meantime, I still have my rubbing stone. So this is what the edge looks like before you stone it, before you sand it. And then I'll sand this off. Just like this, I need two hands to do that, but I'll just sand it off, smooth it off, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I smoothed it off. It's hard to see in the picture, but I stoned that so you got a nice, smooth, clean edge. So one of the main things about installing tile is the layout. Very first thing you do before any tile goes on the wall, after all your prep is done, obviously, before you set a tile, you want to do a layout so you know what every piece is going to be before you start. And sometimes the layout you want isn't the layout you can get. Let me just illustrate what I mean here. So as you can see, I got 1, 2, 3 full tiles, and then I got a cut tile and a cut tile. So this tile here is not a full tile, and we used the piece that I'm going to use a piece that falls off to start over here. So I'm going to have a small piece over here. So you might ask, why don't I just start with a full tile so I can get a nicer pattern? Well, because the distance from here, from there, that corner to that corner there, to where that bullnose is, would actually end up giving me is more than 2 full tiles. So if I started with a full tile in the corner, I would end up with like an inch piece over here by the bullnose. So to get rid of that piece, we opted to just fold the corners and, you know, do like I said, so you get the pattern that follows around, and every other piece is going to be like that smaller piece over there. It's not too bad, but that's that's why we did it this way, to avoid getting the little sliver over here by the bullnose. Okay, so I got my scraps on, I got my clips in, ready for tomorrow, and let's call it a day.